Smash Factor.
Ripping driver, going for it. Oh my goodness. How about that tee shot?
That is crazy how far that is.
Wow. John Daly, take a back seat, big fella. How about that drive?
That's an aggressive line. Man, that is beyond long.
Look at this, he's just driven the green. He has just driven the green.
I guess hello world, huh?
Welcome everybody to the Smash Factor Week 6 of the 2022-2023 PGA Tour season. Interesting one we got here this week. It is a very early Tuesday morning for me. I'll try to have this out early mid-afternoon or so. Continuing a busy part of the year for me in the real life day job type situation. Definitely a weaker feel than what we've seen. I've always said we try to, blind it and just, it is what it is. Don't get sticker shocked. I don't think we really worry about sticker shock as much as just how to go about the week. And then couple in potential weather issues we'll get to in a little bit. Could make for quite the building and stacking and trying to figure things out as we march through over the next, I guess this will tee off probably early Thursday morning. So still got 48 hours or so. I'll have all my premium content caught up and up to date before tonight ends. So a little bit later on the rankings and stuff, which has kind of been the fall swing, how I've been doing it with some of the NFL stuff. I spent a lot of Monday catching up on NFL, researching that night, reviewing what went wrong, right, that kind of stuff. So it's, a little bit different schedule, but still caught up most of the time by Tuesday evening and then get everything out Wednesday per usual. Last week, I did a bullet. I was extremely busy with real work, and the $5 actually filled before I guess I looked at it, later in the day. And normally it filled early compared to normal. So that, I guess, took me off guard. And then once that had filled, I didn't like the payout structure. I think the other one was 33% to first or something like that. So I did a bullet, several of them, I think I did the big $200 single entry, stuff like that. I wish I could have gotten the $5. Player pool was solid. So I still, so I've had this asked before, and I'm taking notes on this kind of stuff so I can address it. Things to work on that, call it 5-week break we get between last week in November, kind of Thanksgiving-ish through the Tournament of Champions and Sony, strategy pieces, stuff like that, things I could add to the weekly once we get to the main swing of PGA. And one of them is, if you're changing contests, stuff like that, do you change your process? And really, I don't. Like this week, I had the same process. It wasn't until the contest had filled up way earlier than I thought that I decided I'll just do a bullet, in the MME. But I still keep the player pool that I would have had, no matter what, because I want to look at it and go, all right, how did it build? How did it do? Even if I go into the week saying all I'm playing this week's the 888 or whatever, I still pretty much keep the player pool, everything the same to say this would be my MME player pool for call it 50 plus lineups. And I want to look at that pool. How did I construct it? How did it do when I'm kind of reviewing things? It did well. Unfortunately, one of the bad pieces of the week was Davis Riley, and he did not do well. Started off bad. Really, I think he had a really strong Sunday, and that was about it. But the rest of it, I kind of laid it out there in the glorious nucleus on going Rahm Rory would have been my call in MMEs and fading. Can't remember what I said. I think I faded. I think I had like 5 guys of the top 20 something priced. Was all I was really looking at because I was going to go Rory Rahm. Kitayama was on that pool. We had a bet on Kitayama. So anyways, it is what it is. So overall, the process wise, I felt good about it. The bullet I had no chance with Riley in there. So it is what it is. Betting wise, again, we had the Kitayama sweat. We had the Rory double. I didn't pay a whole lot of attention, I'll be honest, to DB Tour to know. I know Fox finished 4th, Mansell finished 11th, Hogard finished 30th. What I don't know is how, I hadn't even had time to review it to see, was Fox in the hunt, where we could have potentially got that double hit, Rory Fox type of deal. He finished 4th, so he was up there. Just don't know how much. Yannick Paul gets the W, and that's all Outlaw Tour shout out. I'm pretty confident he was in one of my GPP wins I had during that old pandemic Outlaw golf we got to do. Hit for 5 figures that day, so I think he was in it. He's got a twin brother who's also playing, but shout out to him. Good win. Good to see his name pop up there on a DP World Tour, which is obviously slightly bigger and better than Outlaw, but it's kind of cool to see that when I was researching to see the double sweat type of thing. Matchups and stuff for the week, 2 and 3 on matchups. That brings me to 14, 7, and 5. So still hitting at a pretty good rate for the fall swing. Probably will be extremely light betting, especially matchups, depending on how this weather shakes out this week. Smash gets you 20% off any package. Join us now. Risk-free 7-day free trial. If you have not been a member yet, use that code. You get it for locked in for life. You can upgrade later if you'd like. If you want to start weekly, then go monthly, then go annual. The code's locked in for life. You get it no matter what. If you want to start out with just content analysis only package and then add the tools, you can do that. Code still applies. Very easy to upgrade on the site, and you get the code locked in. And again, you get 7 days free. I think it's next week is Maction, which is always a good time of the year. Get some Tuesday, Wednesday. We'll see how the slates are this year. Decent slates for college football. NBA just fired off last week. Dan doing a good job over there. I filled in for a couple days while he was out of town at a business meeting. World Series going on. Obviously, we're not covering the MLB, but the Slack channel talks about it. Goes all in. I'll read that stuff in there. And UFC, I can't remember if they have a one this week or not. Obviously, we had the big pay-per-view last weekend, but Tommy's got us covered there. And then, of course, NFL, big college football on the weekends. We're getting into the thick of things there. And then PGA, I've been covering. I think I've missed one showdown so far, the whole fall swing. I plan on doing it this time. What'll be interesting here is the weather issues. If you get delayed and that kind of stuff, you have a bigger field, not a full size that we normally see, but a bigger one than a no cut, because we do have a cut this week. No shot tracker, any of that kind of stuff. That always makes the showdown, showstopper stuff a little more gut feel, a little more where are people going to go, and did you get to watch some of it? And I have a really busy week, so the watching part would have to come later at night, but we'll see. I plan on doing them as long as there's stuff to do and it's normal time. When it gets off, that's when it gets difficult, when they have to finish round 1 on Friday and start late and all that kind of stuff. Makes it extremely difficult, especially with no data to look at, no shot tracker, any of that kind of stuff. Rate and review us. I'll be doing giveaways again during Black Friday, Thanksgiving week. Rate and review us on iTunes. That gets you into the drawing for free. Subscribe and like this video. In the comment section, tell me your top play in the 9K range. That'll get you into the drawing. I'll put all those together. I've been throwing them in. If you leave the comments or the ratings, the reviews on iTunes, I throw all those into the same bucket, and we'll do some giveaways. The more we have of comments and ratings, the better, the more stuff we'll give away. Course preview, Port Royal Golf Course. This is the 4th year of the Bermuda Championship. I can't remember. I didn't have time before I kicked off early this morning to see if these were all... They were all fall swing. I'm pretty confident of that, but I can't remember if any of them fell like alternate event or anything like that. But it is the 4th year, par 71, 6,820 yards, 3 par 5s, 4 par 3s. Par 5s are short, easy. Most people can reach it, even your short guys. Kenny Kim's got a full write-up up on the site if you want to go read that. Slightly below average size greens. They'll be Bermuda grass. They'll be slow, and we see that every year here with potential for winds and stuff like that. They can't make them roll too quick, and that brings the weather. It just looks like, and this is early Tuesday. Definitely will be. I've not locked any bets in. I have not got I'm gonna go through the process as normal, but minus I hadn't got any bets in yet. I'm just gonna wait to kind of see. But I mean, from Friday morning on, it's gonna rain Thursday some. The winds don't look too bad, so I think round one, as it stands right now, potentially could play as is. That can always change. Once you get to really almost the time they'll start Friday on, you start getting more rain, plus the 20 to 30 gust with 15 to 20 steady. And it really stays that way until almost Sunday morning. Right now, I mean, the constant winds of, 14, 16, 18, 17, 18, with gusts at 22, 23, that kind of stuff, pretty steady. And we, the rain will be in there. The rain, as long as there's no lightning, and I don't think it's that kind of situation. It's the strong winds and stuff like that. This is a little tropical. I mean, it could turn into a full-fledged tropical storm, and if they name it and stuff, we'll have to keep an eye on that, which will really make it a shortened event. So all that kind of stuff makes you. It's already a weak field. It's already, we're in the middle of football. Probably not a lot of eyes on this. Even some of the ones that have been playing in the fall, they may just go, I'm out. Or they just throw like one lineup in somewhere and go, whatever it hits, it hits. Does it mean it's a big advantage? Not necessarily, because there's a lot of volatility this week with, this is a typical week where our gaps in pricing, the talent isn't the same gap that we see any other given week, because they have to price people somewhere, right? And so someone has to be in the 10K, 9K, 8K. But when you look at, let's say the Masters or, US Open or something like that, a guy that's 7,200 there versus a Rory, compared to, Aaron Rice, Shaman's Power, McCarthy, to, the Piercies of the world, those kind of guys, Glover, any of those guys down there, while they may be rated out better, and obviously they're the betting favorite better, the gap there isn't as big as normal. So it makes it a more strategic week. Then you throw all this mess in with who knows what's going to happen, and it's not U.S. based. I mean, it's in Bermuda. So really diving into the weather and waiting as long as possible to kind of feel comfortable. I just don't know how many people are going to want to put that grind in, especially the prize pots are a lot lower right now. And the big one's always a terrible payout structure. Honestly, I haven't even looked at the contest this week so far. So if you grind out a little bit, I'll certainly will do all the work I normally do. Maybe we have some advantages. Maybe it's a week to go lighter. Just kind of figure out what you want to do. Lots going on there, but we'll do the same work as always on my end. Cut, I have it probably around even +1. Winner around that 13 to 15 under. The very first year they played here, Todd won. He won by 4 strokes, first of all, and then he shot 24 under. But the weather was really, really nice that year. You go back, notes and all that kind of stuff. The last 2 years have been not as good. Last year was probably a lot closer with this year. This year could be the worst of the last 4 years, period, but a lot closer. And you've seen 15 under by 1 stroke, 15 under by a playoff. Herbert won last year. Brian Gay, 2020. Brendan Todd. Runner-ups, you had Danny Lee, Patrick Reed, Wyndham Clark, Harry Higgs. So a little mix of everybody there. Guys that can hit out there long like Clark, good iron players, good scramblers like Reed, stuff like that. I think, depending on how things roll out, almost anybody could win. I do think if someone's really, really strength is putting, that maybe that takes a downtick, not only because of the weather and the wind, but they'll have slow greens. It almost, I would say, neutralizes a little bit. And the biggest thing for me is, like, if I'm looking at something like, well, he's really popping because he's great Bermuda putter, and the other stuff's kind of iffy, that may be something to take a look at. But I also look at how they did at this course the last 3 years, or how many ever they played. If they putted well and they're still a good putter in general, that's something we deep dive and look into for sure. Stats I'm looking at: good drives, birdie or better, good approach, opportunities inside 18 feet, bogey avoidance, and overall ball striking. New to the course since 2016. This kind of surprised me. Most of these guys have played this at least once. So So 29 of the 100, I think they're going to wind up with 124 or something like that, 128 maybe, have played it. So a lot of these have at least got 1 year in. There are several that haven't played it at all. 6, 10K, kind of I still feel like DK's tweaking their algorithms. We'll see more of it as we get into main season and have stronger fields to see how they kind of push it out. But we've seen it, I think, as low as 3 guys in the 10K. This week there's 15 guys, 9K and above, 6 in the 10K, 9 in the 9K, 10 in the 8K, 33 in the 7K, and 65 in the 6K. So I don't say top heavy, but definitely bunched up there, especially 9K and above this week. Sweet 16, going to go through it like normal. Each salary range, give you 3 that I like, a bubble boy, then fade of the week, sleeper of the week, some gut feel plays, betting, and then we'll call it a day or a morning, whatever you're listening to this. 9K and above, I'll go to Steven Yeager. I've been playing him a lot recently. He's flashed, but not done anything tremendous as far as closing. 30th, 44th, and 40th, last 3 out. He did play here last year, got a 20th. He's number 1 in stats for me. 2nd in approach, 10th in birdie or better, 27th in bogey avoidance. He's top 31st or better in every stat, including putting, in the field this week. Seems like he's priced, pretty fairly at that for everything that's popping there. Coming in with okay recent form. And, I like that he did play here last year, which was in not the best conditions, maybe not as bad as this year, but, he's got some experience in that. So I like him. Patrick Rogers, been getting him more right than wrong lately. So that's a positive. A 4th here last year. He's played it 3 straight years, so he's very familiar with the course. Mixed results, 2 made cuts, 1 miscut, and his best finish being last year. 16th at the Zozo, mid-pack, a little bit better than mid-pack Bermuda putting. 15th in good drives, 15th in good approach, 18th in opportunities inside 18 feet. No stat worse than 29th, which is bogey avoidance. So he's up there in almost everything for the field this week, which he's priced up, 9,700. That makes sense. Smalley, I love this week, especially if we feel the tougher the course, the grind type stuff, I really like for him. 12th here last year. That kind of backs it up just a little bit, right? They had a grind last year. He finished 12th. 52nd last week, nothing great. 25th at Zozo. 4th in opportunities inside 18 feet. 9th in good approach. 21st in good drives. 50th in Bermuda putting, so a little, just a little above average there. Recent form is probably the biggest concern, just not been putting it all together. Missed a cut to Sanderson last week, 52nd, but again, remember that's a no cut. Was there 76 guys in that, 78 guys, so didn't play very well last week. I just like, again, you're going to be tough conditions. He got a 12th here last year. That's really the biggest boost for me on someone up there. Bubble Boy for me is Justin Lower. Played him quite a few times here recently. 20th at Shriners, 17th here last year, 11th in birdie or better, 16th in opportunities inside 18 feet. Putting 71st in the field, it's a little concern. That may be about the only thing that has me as a Bubble Boy for him. Everything else looks, pretty good. His good drives is 86, so I have a note in there. He's still a guy that's going to be limited on the data, so I'll deep dive into that and kind of see what the concerns may be there. Ball striking is 48th, but overall, I just, my course fit model, which obviously I think I took 6 courses, maybe 5 or 6 courses I felt that were similar. This is a tough course to comp, but because we have no strokes gained data from here at all. And he was 7th in that model. So another plus there. If you can tell, I'm going to be light on the 10K range. But 8K range, Callum Tarrant, he's a guy I'm going to ride in the fall swing. I know we have a few left. He's kind of a boomer bust guy. Definitely can make some birdies. He avoids bogeys well. He's 4th in the field in that. Missed cut at the Shriners, but a 13th at the Sanderson Farms. Did miss a cut last year. Here, I'll deep dive on that and see. I know there was a little bit of a weather advantage, is what my note said, so I kind of want to look at that a little bit in the deep dive. 40th in Bermuda putting, 3rd in the course fit ranking, 3rd in recent form, 10th in stats overall. So at 8,200, I feel like he's priced fairly in this field, and I'll definitely, don't mind going to him this week. Michael Glielic, 8,100. Played here twice, made the cut both times, a 53rd and an 11th. Did not play last year. 45th at Sanderson. Missed the cut at Shriners. Has not played since the Shriners. Pretty good across the board on stats. 9th in good drive, 9th in birdie or better, 11th in bogey avoidance, 6th in ball striking. His irons tend to be the weaker part. 88th in Bermuda putting, a little concern there. But again, the putting part I'm kind of neutralizing a little bit this week. So for 8,100, I definitely don't mind going to him. Brandon Wu is a guy I've been heavy on, later towards the end of the year when he would play in some of those maybe lighter events. And then as we've kicked off this fall swing, I've been on him quite a few times. 29th at Zozo, 39th at Sanderson Farm, 34th here last year, 18th in Bermuda putting. So that's a positive for him. Stats are just okay. That's probably the reason for the, maybe a little gun shy. 60th in good drive, but 29th in good approach. 51st in ball striking, 36th in opportunities inside 18 feet. So he definitely has a boomer bust there. What the deep dive for me notes will be, how much is he relying on the putter of recently? That could get me off him by the time we get to tomorrow night. But as it stands right now, I just like him as a talent in general. And I feel like this, I'll take chances on guys that I just believe in their pedigree and their talent over what I'm seeing with the data per se. Benny On's a bubble boy. I don't mind him this week. I just wonder, because he's a really familiar name, how popular he could get. He's number 1 in the course fit I did. He's 24th in stats, 7th bogey avoidance, 12th good approach, 17th birdie or better. All good numbers. I think he could be a good play this week. I just want to see how popular he gets. That's the only reason for the bubble boy. 7K, Kevin Yu. I think he's been by Carl also, maybe. I don't know. Limited stats, but man, they look good for what they are now. $7,300. He's 19th or better in all 6 of the ones I'm looking at. 5th in bogey avoidance, 9th in ball striking, 15th in birdie or better, 3rd in good drives, 37th at the Shriners, 19th at the Sanderson's Farm. So coming in pretty good form. For that price in this type of event, I certainly will take chances on a guy like that for $7,300. Give me a made cut, got a top 30 or better upside. I like all that. Chesson Hadley, more of a veteran for this field. He's been around. I like him in general. I think he can. I just lost him again. Okay, there we go. Played here 2 years ago, got a 16th, 37th at the Shriners. He's 8th in Bermuda putting, so he's another guy that I'll go, hey, how much of his recent stuff's been putter versus everything else? 6th in birdie or better, though. 3rd in bogey avoidance. 12th in ball striking. 10th in opportunities inside 18 feet. All things that stick out to me. Very solid. 2 years ago, again, it was 15 under was a winner. It wasn't a year that, was super low. So I like that. $7,600. I'll have some Hadley this week. Kramer Hickok. This feels like his type of event where he could shine. He definitely is a boom bust. Recent form has not been great. Performance here has been good. 15th, 8th, and 30th. 3 straight made cuts. All 3 top 30s with a top 10 2 years ago. I like that he's done well in both easier and hard conditions out here. Stats are just okay. He's just a guy it almost could have went gut feel, but 10th in good drives, 29th in opportunities out 18 feet, 16th in ball striking, and just seeing the performance and consistency. This is 4 straight year here. He's a guy that I'll have some of this week. Bubble Boy Lebiota, who at one time was kind of a hot DFS darling type of guy. He's had really good. I think let's see. There we go. So missed the cut last year, but a 16th year before, then a 3rd when it played easy. But, having good top 20 in both conditions, I like. He's 37th in my entire model, so nothing crazy. Maybe you could see some steam on him, but I really don't think so. He hasn't played since the Sanderson. He missed the cut there. 30th in Bermuda putting, 12th in bogey avoidance, 25th in ball striking. So enough. You're right there on the cusp of the 6K range, which is not strong by any means this week. He's a guy that I don't mind taking a look at. A bubble boy just because, hasn't played too much and very well lately. But outside of that, especially his performances here, he's definitely on the radar this week. 6K range. I don't know how much I'd go down here this week, especially if I'm only building one lineup. But the guys that stick out to me, Robert Streb, 2 straight made cuts here. Didn't play last year, but Nothing with him. Didn't do much on the weekend. A 35th and a 55th. Missed the cut at Shriners. Missed the cut at Sanderson. He can kind of pop up anywhere. 30th in bogey avoidance, 17th in good drives, 24th in good approach, 23rd in total ball striking. So enough there. $6,800 if I was going to dip down there. He's seen the course. This will be his third time. So I like all that he's a guy that I wouldn't mind taking a chance at. Sung Yul No, $6,700. Played here last year for the first time. Got a 30th. Stat wise, he's just okay. Putting, he actually rates out 16th. 12th in birdie or better, 34th in bogey avoidance. Again, if you're coming down here, you're looking for a few things to stick out to you if you want to play a guy in the 6K range this week. That's enough for me to take a look at him, especially with what he did last year. I'll deep dive on him and see if anything else sticks out. Jonathan Bird has played here 3 straight years, missed the cut during the easy year, but then a 53rd and a 20th, so he's gotten better every year. And I would argue that the conditions have gotten harder each of those 3 years, so maybe playing difficult this week plays to his advantage. He has not played since the Sanderson Farm. 10th in bogey avoidance, 28th in opportunities inside 18 feet, 42nd in putting, $6,800. He's a guy that just kind of catch my eye for this type of field that I don't mind going to. Gajeski, $6,700, 39th here last year. He has not played either of the last 4 events. And those guys that haven't, I will go pull their kind of OWGR and see what they've been doing. Maybe they haven't been able to qualify. Whatever it is, I want to go look at. His stuff looks okay. He does not rank out well in Bermuda putting. So I want to see how he putted here last year in general. He's got some top 30 stats here. Good drive, good approach, opportunities inside 18 feet, and ball striking are all top 35 or better. Bogey avoidance, a little concern there, and then the putting stuff, being 104 is a little concern. Now, the course fit model, he's 9th, so that kind of was a thing that caught my eye. And I only weigh that a little bit this week, but when I see some of the other guys that I like this week that are up there, Yeager, Taryn, Rogers, Aaron Rye, who I didn't mention yet, but lower, all these guys, and he's 9th in that. Again, very lightweight on anything course fit matter this week, but he's a guy that he's a bubble boy in the 6K range. May not even get to him, but trying to keep the same format, so I wanted to toss someone out there. Fade of the week is kind of a generic term this week. I will play at most 2 10K guys this week, and could be none or one. I'll fade most of that range. The guys that kind of rate out better for me, Hubbard, but I think he'll be the most popular, especially being the cheapest. Rye, potentially could get some steam. Played here last year, only got a 62nd, so nothing great. He's been okay in the fall swing, a 61st, 20th, and 36th. Power has the best record here, or history, 31st, 37th, 12th, so could see some steam there. Adrian Monarch, I don't know why he's 10-3. I have a big note that literally says why. And so I looked at his OWGR real quick, and I really didn't see anything there that stood out to me. So that's a weird one to me. I'll dig into that. And McCarthy, if he gets steam, that'll be better. He's most likely 100%. I won't play any of him. Dietrich, I like him. I played him some. Being the highest price, I mean, maybe I throw some of him in there because I don't know how many will go there with him being the highest price. Almost 100%. If I was doing just a bullet this week, I'd probably start in the 9K range and go down. Sleeper of the week, Ben Griffin. Again, very little data, but rates out really well. 24th at the Sanderson, made the cut at the Shriners, finished 60th. 4th in birdie or better, 11th good approach, 15th bogey avoidance, 48th in Bermuda putting. Very limited data, so I'm not putting a lot on that, but he's shown some flashes there. I like that. Top 25 at the Sanderson, $7,200. I don't even know if anybody will even mention him. So I think he's a good sleeper candidate this week. Some gut feel plays. Smotherman, don't mind going there. Adam Long, kind of feels like a course he could do well at. Scott Piercy, and then Ryan Armour. I mean, this screams Ryan Armour in general. What has his performance been here lately? 8-8, 67. So he's made the cut all 3 years. Two eighth places, one in the harder conditions, one in the easier, so that's good. And then last year, 67th. He did finish 13th at the Sanderson Farm. This kind of field, I typically would always have some armor in there, especially if doing MME, $7,400. Don't see him getting played too much this week. Betting 5, top 5 that pop and 2 long shots provided by Price Pick. Click the link, use the code GUP, dollar for dollar match up to $100. Definitely expecting the PGA to come back with probably either the tournament champions or Sony. Been playing NFL, college football. Guys have been sharing theirs in Slack for NBA, MLB, UFC. Tommy gives opinions there. Lots of ways to make money on Prize Picks. I really like their product in general. So you click that link, get ready for. I think they'll have a strong showing for golf when it fires back up. Obviously, a lot of their focus has been on NFL right now, like most products. That link will also get you to Underdog, which I'm really hoping we get a kind of a best ball format for PGA. I think it may come. I like their product as well. So I give my Prize Picks and Underdog picks out for NFL on the pod Thursday. If you want to take a look at those, they use the same code GUP, dollar for dollar match up to $100. My top 5 right now: Jaeger 35, Kevin Yu 80, Rogers 30, Smalley 33, Hickok 80. 2 long shots, Griffin 120 and Streb 150. We'll have a lighter card this week for sure. Picks will be out as late as I can get them out, with it still giving people time to shop around and look. Just when you have this much weather and all that, you want to take advantage of it as much as you can. So I'll push them out till a later Wednesday. And I haven't made any personal bets yet. I'm just going to wait on the weather situation and see how it shakes out. If there's one I was going to make early, it'd probably be Smalley, especially if I've seen some 35, 38 type numbers, just because I like the way he grinds and all that. But I'm still even holding off on him to see how the weather shakes out and is there a draw favorite and all that kind of stuff. If it was a no-cut event, maybe a little different, but being that we have a cut and all that, you could have a wave advantage, and I want to see all that. Hope you guys have a very great Tuesday. I will have all the content caught up tonight before I go to bed. I will be back later on this week with NFL. Hope you guys have a good week, and talk to you soon.